keep your cards going.
Faithless Looting turns into reveal 2 cards, and draw 2 cards for every red mana you have, as Adam Vickers showed me once.
He's going to have to pull some considerable shenanigans to get Faceless Looting into this deck.
Shimmering Grotto's a card. It can be used to filter
I guess the funniest interaction that I guess is pretty commonplace now is that people are aware of the Thought Scour's interaction with Tamiyo, which basically was with
draw 3 cards.
No, it not draw 3, but mill your opponent out. 1 Thought Scour and a Tamiyo emblem and about 5 islands in 2 turns will end the game.
It'll finish the job. But wouldn't that be a win-more situation? Zach?
No, it's not win more at that point. Tamiya's emblem is not win more.
Okay.
You gotta have some way of winning the game.
Yeah, that's true.
How's Joe gonna win this game right now if it wasn't for the emblem?
Well, there's a think twice, I think. It's a classic think twice.
A classic.
No, Volition Reigns?
I think
a Volition Reigns. We have a Volition Reigns, and he's gonna grab that Sphinx, and stuff's gonna get dumb.
He owns it now.
Yeah.
Vapor Snag.
Vapor Snag.
And I'm pretty sure he has the emblem, right?
Yeah. I think he's doing it. Is he doing it in response, or no, he let it resolve? Does he have the emblem? Yeah, he doesn't. It's on 6.
He does not. I guess he got in there with his Blaze Blaster a couple times.
He had to tap down the Sphinx. Oh, it's a foil Vapor Snag, so it bounces 2 creatures.
Of course.
Just 2 damage.
House rule here at Lost Legion, foils count for double. So if you have a foil near-death experience and your life is at 1, you win the game twice.
So what did Joe do? He didn't tap anything down. Did he draw? -2? Draw for all tapped creatures?
Maybe.
Must have. With 3 creatures on board,
It looks like they're
at that point the tapping 1 thing down is probably a losing battle.
It's
He has to find a board wipe. Depending upon how well this mic picks up the ambient noise, everyone on the internet is now familiar with Adam Vickers.
a regular here at Lost Legion, loved by all.
A legend for how loud his voice carries.
A friend to those who need a friend.
I was just mostly talking about how loud he was. That's an alright guy too.
I mean, I guess he's cool. We got 2.
Fine human being.
He's also known as that in Vickers Club. Let's see both of these players.
There it is.
What is
Revoke.
it?
Has Revoke existed?
Exile that Torpor Orb.
Now,
I don't know. Does it?
Is
he reanimating in any sense?
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know if there's any way he can get that back. I was just curious if the Revoke had any kind of actual value. I know he plays 1 Revoke.
Well, I believe Tamiya's emblem. Now this is a stretch here, guys. Tamiya's emblem says if anything enters, would go to your graveyard. So it's going to get exiled. It's going to stay there.
It's true.
It's a way around.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Sphinx
And
that comes
there's
back.
the Sphinx.
Just a little nifty interaction. And drawing twice, that's ridiculous. Especially for every time your opponent draws 1. You're just going to get all the gas you need to dig.
Very
all the answers.
broken mechanic. Especially in a game with 4 or 5 people.
Yes.
This is why every blue EDH deck should be playing one. 6 means Frost Titan, right?
Looks like
Or a Terminus.
Terminus works too.
Controlling that board state.
And then a Torpor Orb.
Torpor Orb. Oh my goodness.
Tap in the cavern.
Then he just played another off switch to old John's deck.
John does have 7 cards in his hand, so...
Yeah, and this is turn 1 billion.
And that's one of the nifty things about the Sphinx. Sometimes it doesn't even need to swing. It just needs to exist long enough to get you the card advantage over your opponent.
Even if it doesn't get to attack, it still leaves a lasting impact.
Yeah.
If you can't deal with it on their turn.
Of course, if this game... Oh, eventually John will reach some of the creatures that might be at the bottom of his library.
Well,
Or shuffling.
Shuffle effect is going to make all its draws live. But that's, of course, a Schrodinger's cat kind of scenario where you don't know what the next card is anyway. The chances of the one...
There is equal as much chance of being land. But Joe does have the off switch.
The problem here is that one threat's not going to do anything in this board state. One threat's just going to occupy Tamiyo, but he's really going to have to find two threats so that he can get rid of Tamiyo and
Well, I see a Sun Titan.
the image.
But of course, perhaps his best bet would be a Sun Titan because you'll get the effect for it attacking, and then that takes 6.
Well, the problem is he's going to cast a Sun Titan. Joe's going to lock it down.
Oh,
He's never going
And
to
if he gets the image out, he'll just make him second.
Yeah,
indeed.
those are not the...
Because
What Jonathan really needs here is one of his 2 flash creatures. He's going to need an Angel or a Snapcaster. So he can land it during Joe's turn, avoid the Tamiyo ability, and then take some chunk into that loyalty count. That Tamiyo's been doing some work.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was the Torpor Orb. It was the turn 2 Torpor Orb that really made a difference.
Into Tamiyo. Yeah, that was
Pump fake.
Which maybe that was an issue that John did, where he Restoration Angel before Joe's turn. Doing it at the end of the turn, there's no possibility for board wipe. He would have been able to get in for some damage. No ability to tap down, and he could image as well. But
And then we have a Gideon.
Gideon serves as a threat. Joe will have to tap that down, or he'll get killed immediately. Smells like
we have not seen many miracles for the Angels. We would like to see the Angels, I think, because that'll actually get him some creatures.
And that will probably, well, I have no idea what John's, he's been probably...
John's deck can't interact with full value Entreat at this point.
Well, I'm almost certain he's got a leak in hand, if not 2 or 3.
He doesn't have 2 mana untapped, which is the key at this point.
True.
But this is one of the problems with Joe's deck.
There is no Arcane Melee out, so Mana Leak does cost 2 mana.
Even that card.
That's a great card.
There's no Arcane Melee out because that card is garbage.
I will advocate to the end of the earth. Cards.
Dude,
I will build around me.
And there have been generations of people who continue to be wrong ahead of you. So it's not like you're starting a new trend.
Well, for instance, the Falcon Wrath Aristocrat deck that Jordan put that bug in my ear to make.
Well, that's a real card.
Well, yeah, I was winning by virtue.
I'm not going to compare Arcane Melee.
Nah, I will. I'll be the guy who...
He will take upon this mantle.
I kid. But folks, if you're listening at home, Trading Post, it's a card. Make a deck out of it. Heard it here first.
Here's a Gideon.
Wait a second. Oh. Gideon can't exist twice, can he?
It did really... Trading Post did really well at that one open. I forget, but it was similar to the deck that you were running. It's just...
Yeah,
instead of winning for... with Grizzlebrand, Jordan wins by just paying someone to death with Staff and Nin, which is up there with the most painful deaths you could ever have in Magic Land.
If you can kill them.
Torpor Orb just reads creatures now, right?
Yes.
Other permanents still do.
Mm-hmm.
It's remarkable how quickly that shuts off.
Better spell.
That will not... that's why Jonathan was reading it, because the equipment will still trigger the living weapon activation.
Yes, because it's an artifact.
But like I said, unless one of those other cards is a Restoration Angel in his hand and he can land that next turn, he's just going to lock down whatever threat he plays.
Terminus.
Well,
goodbye, Germ.
he could go ahead and run out the Restoration Angel. Put it on the bottom of his library.
He could. He could just concede now if he wanted to as well.
This is true.
All things are allowed. None of them are good.
They are in it deep, folks. This is only game 2.
You play blue and white
There's
cards.
Snapcaster.
This is what happens.
Divine Offer.
Divine Affection.
offering. So he's going to gain 5 life
okay.
off of that.
Yeah.
Correct? It's mana cost?
Yep. It's a little consequence. It's
the destruction, I know. But it's add a little sprinkling there.
I mean, that's a fourth of your life.
I think he untapped that land. That should untap.
He did.
Maybe
It might not be rolling,
True.
but you never know.
I know I don't know. There's very little I do know. I know the Snapcaster just attacked Tamio.
Ironically enough, if they actually do just keep going back and forth like this, Joe will win because that Consecrated Sphinx gave Jonathan a draw when it shouldn't have. So
If this game continues in this board state, he's going to ultimate Tamio.
and then probably just by virtue of that, maybe.
I mean, something else is coming.
There's a biggie.
Sun Titan.
Sun Titan.
That enters and says, "Where's the sun? What's going on?" I don't know.
Well, now he has a choice. He can either...
We're grasping at straws here for content.
I mean, this is a very, very interesting board state for
I never got the
Magic.
feeling from the Cycle of Titans in a thematic sense that they were all searching for whatever was in their names.
Well, the original Titans, it's like they were made by Urza or something, and they are still destroying Phyrexia, to my knowledge. It's like he just let the original Phyrexia.
Way too much magic novelization.
You're right. I'm sorry, folks. I'll kill myself ritualistically to redeem my honor.
There's no way in which that's correct, right?
What?
Oh,
Which part?
actually it is, because if he kills the image, then the Titan just attacks and gets the image back. But
Sad truth.
unless there's a terminus on top here, Tamia's going to die, isn't it?
I believe so.
It just looks like she's down to 6.
Well, he's got 8 power and no way to interact with them, so.
We could see think twice, maybe.
He's going to get another image back.
Years.
Seems like a good play.
Yes.
Why 2 Titans?
There it
And
is.
you can have 3.
And Tamio is Ganio.
Scott's, I keep calling him Scott. He's going to murder me. Surely in that hand that Jonathan has, he's got his Temporal Mastery.
Does
Oh, he's flashing back Alchemy. He does have black in that deck.
He's gonna leave.
He has Ace 1.
If there's a Dissipate in Scott's, I keep track on the screen of how many times I call.
Jonathan is also known as Scott. Oh,
And that looks at this.
There it is.
The infamous planes off the top. He just stole it.
Well,
But
that
how much you
Oblivion
want to
Ring.
see at that point?
Trover Orb, though, Joe made him climb that hill with his teeth.
Yeah, Joe had that game exactly where he wanted to. He played 6 different sweepers over the course of the game. It's just such are the perils of these blue-based control decks. They don't have a way to win the game. He just could not find an Entreat. Could not find Frost Titan. He did play a Batter Skull, right? And
Yes, and it got divided.
It got dissipated. Because he forgot.
now the sideboarded in all these portion of the show where
Was this good enough against you?
Joe Lament's not drawing all of these. Actually, he did, if that's what he brought in.
He got the Volition Reins,
He drew 2 Torpor Orbs and the Volition Reins.
and he sided out Leaks and other things.
Yeah, I like that play.
See, that's the part you were talking about. You know, you control the game for however long, but if you don't have enough threats to hit,
At some
or
point,
enough ways, you need
some
to
point
finish
you
the
have
game.
to be proactive. And it's not like his deck isn't designed that way. It's just Magic is a game of variance.
Yes.
If it wasn't, it's chess. And I hate chess. And I suck at
But
chess.
you like Magic.
Huh?
But you like
I
Magic.
don't know. That's debatable. But I am on an undefeated streak. Haven't lost in 6 months. To be fair, I've only played once, but if you don't play, you can't lose. That's my strategy.
But are you living?
I'm
Probably
living
more than if you were playing Magic, actually.
Jordan, I'm living the dream. I'm sitting in what is basically a supply closet in a card shop in a questionable area of Charleston, West Virginia,
Surrounded by...
talking into a microphone on a laptop. about imaginary wizard fighting cards.
This is what every 10-year-old dreams of.
So some people want to be a fireman. Some people want to grow up and be an astronaut. I want to spend a non-inconsequential amount of money on webcams and 30-foot USB cables so I can sit in the supply closet talking to a microphone that's on a laptop. You know what's a good time for?
Good time for a plug.
It's a good time for a plug. So I'm going to push 2 buttons on this thing and show that same splash screen that still has the incorrect. It's a fun game at home. Can you spot the mistakes?
Yeah.
Lost Legion Games. That's where we're playing right now. One of 4 beautiful locations. Beckley, West Virginia, Princeton, West Virginia, South Charleston, West Virginia, which is where we are, and the newly opened store in Parkersburg, West Virginia, which is basically on the Ohio border.
Yes.
Only about 40 minutes north to I-70, about 2 hours away from Columbus, so it can definitely within driving range. You can contact them at their email address, which is lostlegiongamesandcomics@gmail. I have neglected to put that in there, and we'll fix it when I get a chance to. If you have any comments and questions about the broadcast, feel free to contact me on my Twitter handle, @ZachSellsMagic on Twitter, or you can reach me at my Gmail email address, ZachSellsMagic@gmail.com. How much time's left in the round, do you know?
I have no idea.
Now joined in the booth by 2-0 competitor Jonathan Wright.
We are great.
You're going to have nightmares about Torpor Orb, aren't you?
Oh, horrible.
It makes your Blade Slicers into the saddest card in
They just came back.
the saddest card in the world. We were debating whether or not you had brought in the Divine Offering and Revoke.
Last time I played him.
So you had that. You had the
O-ring.
You knew.
Divine Offering and Revoke.
You knew. I would think if you had never played that deck before, maybe you would. No, if I had not played against Joe's deck, I don't know if I would have brought those in.
Yeah.
And they've just been boned. I've never seen a Tamiyo live longer than I saw it in that game. But you were triumphant, so we're 2-0 on Wright Brothers competing on camera at FNM.
Oh, is that what's coming up next? Is that what's next?
No, Scott won the first round. You won the second round. Third round yet to be determined. But we'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes, I think, with the next round.
You say good things about me.